everyone. I want to welcome you to week 4. This is the week where we claim what we have been learning, where we're at, what we've been doing, new things that have been shared with us, new things we've learned about ourselves, and where we plant and say, this is what I learned. It's been my experience that when we don't take the time and stop to do this, life just keeps moving on. And without stopping and claiming it, what I find happens is I've got to repeat the process over again. Now I have an image, and when I go back, it's not exactly the same. It's less intense. And I don't want to say that even if we claim it now, that it doesn't mean that we're going to go back and revisit it, because that's not true. However, it'll be with less intensity. It will also be able to go back to your page and say, oh yes, yes. I dealt with that, but the facet of that was, and you'll be able to say, well, that was, something else, and versus, what might be coming up for you that's new. You may also find that the energy that you're in this week as you claim it was different than when you kicked it to the curb last week, or when you did it. And I want you to feel this new energy of rebirth, this taking a deep breath and just holding on to this feeling that you have, because, feelings come and go, and we have the page to go back to help us, claim that space. So hold on, go back, take a look, think, write, maybe share your page, and then get ready to claim what you learned as a result of kicking all this to the curb. Okay, I can't wait to see your pages. Love you fiercely. Okay, everyone, let us just relax, get comfortable in our seats. Move our necks around, our arms, shake everything out, your feet as best you can. And let's breathe in and out. Breathe in again, hold it. Breathe out. Let's do it one more time, being mindful of our breathing in. Holding it, feeling the wave in our stomach, and breathing out. All right, I want you to see that you are standing on top of a hill. And as you're standing there and you're looking around, you see a tree. And from where you're standing, you could see that the tree is full of something. Is it fruit? Vegetables? Oh, it's full of something. And as you get closer to it, you can see that there's just so much in that tree. Maybe it's the foliage that's changing. Maybe it's blossoms of spring. And as you get closer to the tree, you see underneath the tree there is a place for you to sit. Is it a chair, a bench? I want you to sit in it. As you walk over, I want you to sit in that underneath the tree. And when you're sitting there, I want you to breathe. And I want you to reach around and touch the tree. Can you touch it with your hands? Your back? Some part of you touches that tree. Your head, just lean your head back in the tree. And as you do, you're able to see up into the tree, and you're able to see what is up in there for you closer. You're able to see it closer and to get a better view of it. Is it balls of light? Are they red keys? And all of a sudden, poof, one falls out of the tree and falls right in your lap. And you take it and you hold it. And I want you to hold it and put it up against your heart. And if you can't see just quite what it is, imagine it's a red key. And as you're holding it against your heart, you see a woman walking towards you. And she's so happy to see you. Maybe you've seen her before. Maybe she's dressed differently. Maybe it's a different person. Does she have something with her? Is she alone? Does she have an animal? And as she comes towards you, she sits down on something that she's brought with her. And she takes out of her bag a teapot, teacups, something tasty to eat. She offers it to you. You take a sip, you take a bite. And then she asks you, what do you have? And you show her. And she says, ooh. And she leans into you and she says, tell me more about this. What is this? And you may say, I don't know. I'm not sure. And she leans in closer and she says, if you're not sure, she says, ooh, but if you were sure, what might it be? And if you are sure what it is, you tell her. And as you're telling her, what you have in your hand gets bigger. And then all of a sudden, there's more than one. And then there's a third, and a fourth, and a fifth. And pretty soon your arms are full. And she then tells you, she then says, this is your abundance. This is what is here for you, for doing your work. This is your gift. She takes another sip of her tea, a little bite of what tasty treat she brought. You do the same. She then gets up. She kisses you on the forehead as you sit there, surrounded by this abundance that's fallen from the tree just for you. And she says, stay here. You just stay here. I can see myself out. And as you look around, you see that you're in a forest and there's other people sitting, and they are surrounded by abundance. There's plenty to go around. And they smile and they wave at you. They might be in conversation with a woman. You look over and your woman has walked away. She turns around again. She waves. She walks to the edge of the forest. And you look around. You look around at all that abundance. There's still plenty in the tree. You take one and you hold it. You feel it. And as you're sitting there, you move your feet, your body, your shoulders, your neck, and you open your eyes. Welcome back. Okay, we are at week 4. We have, let's see, we've established where we want to be, where we think we want to be, which may or may not make sense to you. And maybe for some of you, it created new pages. And whatever it is perfect for you. And then we said, I wonder. I really went into a state of wonderment in step 2, which is getting ready to kick it to the curb. Which, Yep. And I've seen your pages and I know you feel the same way. And if you haven't reached this state yet, because we're doing it all in our own time, you will when you get there. And maybe that created some new pages for you. This is a woman I know who has gotten terminal cancer. And it's always a reminder. And I'll explain about how this fits in a moment. And then pages, pages show up as I'm writing. Pages show up along the way. And week 3, which is kicking it to the curb. Kicking it to the curb, which became very clear that it was going to be a process. And as the negatives came up, which actually ended up becoming rats. I don't know if you can see that I put a golden bow around my rat's neck to thank all these things for what I've learned as a result. But it became very clear, if I just put a smile and dealing with my body image, the most cathartic page of all for me, which was to shoot back at the people that shot at me. And not that I want harm to come from, but it was me a way of saying, get back. And then this beautiful page came out, which started to tie in with the first part here. But I do know that my work started to change, become more vibrant. I know it ties in with living life luxuriously, freedom, color as you please, the world is my canvas. Cat, I do believe that means setting boundaries. Not sure what this is about. And Call of the Wild. I'm not sure yet what this is about, but the page really pleases me. And I have some juicy spots that I just love in my book. That's just a juicy corner up there. All this is really juicy. Okay, so that leads me to this week. From the rats, and I'm just before my hands, which I kind of knew, but I really know now they're work gloves. This is real work. There's some shininess going on here, but this is real work, and we're ready for our step together, step 4. So for step 4, as always, we start with writing. And I could already feel relief from it. I know that it's a process, it's a continuing process. I'll be going to the page about more things as they come up about this one image. As I shared in my writing, it's been with me a long time. It's not going to go away. It's, immediately. But parts of it will as I do this work. So the step 4 is about claiming it. I'm claiming the change. And I'm going to write about that. Claiming. It's really important we do that. I'm just going to say it's really important. Because most of the time, if I don't stake a claim, if I don't stake a flag in what I've learned, then I forget. So it's really important I do this. It also helps me and you. It helps us to keep from going back. Keep going back to it. Now, when I say go back to it, I mean when it comes up, we have a place to go back and say, oh yeah. Like for me, like if I put a smile on it, I have a place to come back to now when it comes up. Oh, what about the rib seamer? That is still unknown, sitting in here waiting. So it gives me a place to come back to remind me, because I forget, to remind me that I've processed it and that I have somewhere to go. I have an image, which is what this is all about. Whenever I think about boundaries, I just have to think about this page. I just have to think this very simple page. And look, I just recognize this, and look at the boundary. Okay, that's just amazing. So in claiming it, it's important. Claiming that it's a process. Claiming the process. Claiming where I'm at, like for now, I look more like myself. And what I'm starting to feel about this page and the claiming it part is this might just be a page of gratitude. People have asked me, do you only have to write about the bad stuff? Oh no, we write about everything. And in this one, I have a feeling this is a page of gratitude. Thank you. Thank you to you for coming along, still processing. To my spiritual connection, to an increase in faith, to feeling better about myself, I'm more confident. I haven't changed. Remember, there's no weight loss. I'm more confident and grateful. And as always, I end it with a prayer. Please show me. Maybe there's more I'm not seeing about gratitude. Please show me. Tell me. Heal me. Inform me. Instruct me. Which way to go next. And thank you. There you go. And I'm going to come back here with gesso. I think I have just enough in this bottle. And I'm going to cover this in gesso. Now here I'm not putting it underneath because I want to hide what it says. I'm putting it underneath because I want to be able to allow what I wrote here to feel its way through and to inform me. And it's interesting, I'm doing it on the page where the sewing is at for the work gloves. And I'm just thinking about all that as I'm doing this, and I'm just feeling in such gratitude as I do it. And I'm going to let that dry. I also want to point out, you've noticed that I've had a sheet underneath here, and I realized because I used it in my last one where I was clearing things out that I've got a new sheet, which just feels so right about, about claiming and setting a new, a new line in my path. Okay, just want to mention that to you. Now, I know I tell you, and I'll say, oh, that's never happened before. And we're in another situation where that never happened before. I wrote over this, covered it with gesso, never put color on it. It just didn't feel right. And that's never happened before. And as I was paying attention, so this had become some kind of white, pristine, new start, enjoying the energy of over the hump, continuing to kick this thing to the curb. And what I came up with is somebody had mentioned about hands, which led me to something else, which led me to elephant feet. And for some reason, the bones in the elephant feet are just talking to me. And I'm trying really hard not to try to figure this out. I'm just going with it. And I want to show you a technique. Now I could sketch this out, or I can use another technique which I'm going to show you. And that is where you take a piece of paper. I just Xerox. I just copied this. I'm taking a piece of charcoal, and I know some of us have learned this in school, and I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go all over this in charcoal. I'm going to get rid of this loose charcoal because it makes a mess, and I don't want that on the cover of my book. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my book. I'm taking a colored pencil, a washable colored pencil, and I'm going to put this down here, and I'm going to start just drawing this. Just drawing this in here. And I'm going to do this. Probably would be better if and this. And here. These are big bones. And why? Why an elephant? I do not know. There's one toe, two toe. Look at, there's a toenail, just like mine. Okay, and I'm going to do that with the other one. You see? And I'm going to do that with the other one. And I'll be right back. Okay, that wasn't very smart. I mean, I wanted to do this, but what I'm going to do now is take my colored pencil now, and now I'm just going to go over the black lines. And then I'll be back. And I'm really trying hard to keep it loose and not... Okay. So I've gone over the lines, and now I'm going to take an eraser, and I'm going to go over and remove the charcoal as best I can. And what I can't, I'm going to use for shading. So let me go ahead and do that. And while I'm doing this, as I'm thinking about what I'm claiming the changes that have been made for me since I started to kick this thing to the curb. I'm also in query about why elephant feet. I mean, I'm a big girl, but I don't have feet like this. I don't have quite the bones like this. Such a massive animal. I've never heard an elephant in the forest, but I have heard others talk about it and just how amazing it is, how quiet they are. They have spring in their step. I was just reading about that. So I'm thinking about all these things while I'm going through and doing this and staying in the query. So now I can take my pencil again and go over this again, which is what I'm going to do. And the reason why this isn't coming clear is because it's my pencil is also getting, moved. So I'm going to go through and do this. And the other thing that's important is I'm not worried about straight lines. I don't want this to be exactly. It's more interesting when it has more lines in it and a little bit more organic for me. But your style may be different, and whatever your style is, then that's exactly what you do. I love how this right here looks like a thumb. Okay, so now I can take a brush, or I use a water brush, and you fill these with water, and you can get them from just about anywhere. And I'm going to come in here now, and I'm going to activate that. Oh, that's right, I did use black. Oh, I thought I used blue. That's interesting. No wonder. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm going to come through here and I'm going to activate this. That's right, I kind of wanted to do it in a grayer color so I could come back in and highlight. And as always, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about the bone structure. I mean, how big these must be. And is this what I'm going to end up with? I have no idea. As in Smashbooking, you just do the next layer. People may not even recognize this for what it is, and that's okay. That is all right. And now I'm coming in with another pencil and using my copy as a reference. I'm just going to come in here, and this is with blue. And I'm just going to come in here and get some color in some of these areas. And as always, I'm thinking about what it is. I'm kicking to the curb. I guess I'm kicking to the curb as I think about this while I'm doing this now. Is the elephant is so, this almost looks like ballet point. At least that's kind of what it looks like to me. And such a big animal, and it was built perfectly for what it is. How about me? Because as I said, it's not, the thing I'm kicking to the curb, it's probably exactly the way it's supposed to be. And for me to, oh, here's some water, and for me to stop fighting that. Ooh, look how gorgeous that is. Okay, so when you do something like that, and you say, oh my God, that's gorgeous, what do? You do it again. I kind of feel like I'm painting the edge of the brush, but only with a pencil.
one thing I do recognize is my work. When I start to see it look like this, it is authentically mine. And yours will be authentically yours also, because you can't help but do it. And these stitches, I don't know if you can see, I'm doing one of the pages where the stitches are, which is the other side of my grounding page. So what I'm feeling now is that I need to get it ground. And I'm going to use red. Now I have some old paints here that are really dry. Yeah, and thick. These are super thick. And I'm going to use my pen and just come in here and, oh look. Aww. That's the only problem about these paints. Okay, but the blue is not. So I'm going to use this pen. And I'm just going to come in here. Give this some ground. I don't, because my yellow and orange is gone. There, that's where how more I want it. I want it more watery. So, to do more watery, I'm going to do it like this. There, like that. Stepping in water. Kind of like a baptism, I guess. You notice I use my hand. Oh, I use my hand. Especially for somebody with paint. Oh. And now I'm in a stage that I call the dance. That's where I put the blue down, which feels like a baptism, but doesn't totally feel right yet. Or maybe that's exactly what it did need at that moment, but more wants to happen. And now and the dance is, okay, how about that? No, that doesn't feel right. Okay, what next? Oh, okay. We want to tone that down. I want a little more of the gesso. Okay. Now what? It does feel right. Stepping into water. Stepping into water. Now if I want to mix these two together, I happen to have some of the paint that didn't. That's why I tell you to use whatever's around you. One of the paints didn't work. I've got this top here, and I want to mix some blue and some white. And I could just do that, and I could use this pen here. Oh, this is terrible using your hand like this, but that's how I roll. I went saw an artist use all they did at the top of their paint cans. Part of that's because we just don't stop. But you see, you can just use whatever is in front of you. It's just paint. Need a little more of this. This is getting dry. Getting some water in there. Getting a little more. The best paintbrush is your fingers. This is inexpensive paint, so I can definitely use my finger with this, no problem. Looks like I'm drawing this too far over. Maybe I'm supposed to do that in the water. I can also see the dance is starting, and I can see up here. I could see up here, this needs white. So I'm going to go up in here, drop some water in there, go in and get some of this white, get that in there. I'm playing at this point. I'm in the dance, what I call in the dance. I have no idea what's going to happen next. but I'm having a great time. And that's the point. It's like, oh yeah, that's just kind of feeling, this might be the portal, might be the whole page. I need to draw a line there. Okay, so what happens right over here, what happened just over here, is the critic said, look, you don't have a line. So, as always, I don't let her make a decision, and I say to the artistic, the muse part of me, I say, what do you want to do? And she said, oh yeah, we want to fix that. Okay, we'll fix that. If you can find my pen. Yeah, okay, we'll fix that. You want it more like this, right? Yeah, okay. There it is. There it is. You got it. Whatever you want. Now this is coming to the end, so I'm just going to start grabbing out of here. Now one thing about gesso, when it gets to the end and you've had it for a while, it gets thick. And I love that. Now it wants to be full on. Yeah. Okay, anywhere else want white? Oh yeah, I see one over here. Yep, I see. Really want the leg to stand out. Okay, so that's what my muse is saying. Oh yeah. She said, oh yeah, no. We want the leg to stand out over here. Okay. What about the water? Yep, that looks good. For now. For now. Wow. Okay, either. Yeah. I'm looking at my reference here because while I don't want it to be exactly the same, I do want this pronounced foot to come out like this. Because otherwise it's not strong looking. And obviously it wants to be strong. Now the important part is I'm continuing to keep this loose. That's really important. Just keeping it loose. I think I'm going to let this dry before I do any more to it. Okay, so I've had dinner, and I think this is going to be the page, and I think I know what it means, but before I do, I'm going to show you these pencils. You're able to, just take something off of there, and I might need this to be more. Darker is what I'm thinking. Which I have some here. I also have some here. And since this is gesso, okay, I'll finish my sentence. Since it's gesso, it should hold really nicely to it. Okay, so see how I'm just loving on the page? I mean, all I'm doing is just playing and in the dance, and so, and I'm thinking about, and as I'm doing this, I understand what it means. Oh boy, I totally understand what it means, and it is scary in this claiming and the stitching. And I'll explain in a moment, because first what I want to show you is I'm going to put a little yellow in here. And this is called gouache. And I like, oh, it's green. And typical me. And I like gouache because it acts like watercolor and it dries. It doesn't get reactivated. And so I'm going to take a little bit of gouache on here. And just make this little band. This little band of yellow, because I'm in the activation stage now. I know it's done because of the colors that want to come in and nothing on here wants to come in light, nothing. So I'm going to just wet this and wet this. That'll help contain the water. I don't care if it kind of bleeds into there. And who knows, I may not be done, but I think so when these activation colors start to show up. That does it for me. And the color that wants to show up, of course, is orange. This color, orange. Okay, you've heard me talk about this before, and I've reached that place where I've put in the orange, I put in the yellow, I put in the blue, and my painting is saying, what? And I could hear it, what I'm hearing is, what? Oh no, you need to be bolder. You need to come and be a whole lot bolder. And I don't want to. I'm sitting here fighting that. And because it really is wanting to make a bold statement. So you've heard me talk about risk. I'm afraid I'm going to make it bad. I've spent time on this. I've spent love on this. And too bad. Let's go for risk. Wants to be bolder. Bolder, bolder, bolder. So, starting to be bolder. Let's start with the orange. I want this just a little. Yep. Now the fact that that other is underneath just makes this a little richer. There's a trick, which is when you're doing this, and you got to remind yourself, don't come all the way up to the line. Just stay a little bit out. And I want to, what do I want to do? Yeah, I want to remove these brush strokes is what I want to do. Can I? Nope. Need a different brush if I want to do that. So the fact I have that other layer underneath, it's coming through, it's just gorgeous. Just beautiful. Now I'm going to come in with this vibrant yellow. Is this stripe down here? And then mine is blue, darker blue. again, I'm having one of those moments where, oh, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. That is too bold. But that is what I'm hearing is bring it on down. And remember, it's just paint. Right? I can always go, oh my gosh, you know what oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to do one more thing. I've allowed this to live overnight to see if it was done, to hear what it was trying to tell me. And I'm going to put the camera up here and I'm going to let you know. Okay, I have claimed what has happened for me in kicking this to the curb. And if you remember what I looked like when I started this, which was 4 weeks ago, and you see what I'm looking like now, I want you to notice I am showing skin. Now, I haven't showed skin in a very long time. I committed to getting a haircut. I got lipstick on. The biggest thing that has happened for me is I spent the money and went and bought shoes that fit. I've been an 8.5 wide my entire life. I have tried to make other shoes fit. They don't fit. They haven't been my shoes. The clothes that I'm wearing I've had for a while, years actually. But getting new shoes has made a major step. In addition, the page that came up, I've had to think about it. And here's the page. And I'll have something a little more. As you know now, they're elephant feet. As you know, the color wanted to be more empowered. I quite didn't understand. I kind of knew, but I quite didn't understand. And I want to share the importance of sharing your page with somebody that you trust. Because as soon as I showed this to somebody who I trust, they immediately said, my gosh, a new spirit animal has shown up. And of course, this animal has been trying to come through for 3 years now, actually. And it's just amazing. It's about living bolder. It's about having feet, shoes, this. Sometimes I just don't have words. But in my claiming part, what I'm claiming is that I have a place in the world. I have a place in the world right now. I'm perfectly built for this time right now in this world. That this structure, you've heard me say, on the video that I've seen these before, they have been showing up in boulders in my work in the last couple of years, along with the elephant, along with this color. So what I want to share is it's perfect, just the way that it happens, just the way that it comes out. Do share. If it doesn't make sense, do share with us inside Facebook. Let us help you if it doesn't make sense. If it scares you and leaves you in your cosmic smash, if it leaves you in your cosmic cowgirl boots shaking, then it's absolutely perfect. And the other thing I want to mention is that some of you have shared that you feel like you're on a different plane of energy. And that is true. That is what this does. And I know that after having done this page, that a whole new world is opening up for me. And I am so grateful that you are on this, that we're all on this together and supporting each other as we move forward out in the world in a way that we've been called. So loving you fiercely,
so grateful to you, and I just put my virtual arms around you. Of course, right now I'm doing it, but you know what I mean. And I'm so looking forward to staying in touch as you move forward into wherever it is that you're going. Loving you.